Listen to me, right now. Stop whatever meaningless scroll you're doing, put down that distraction, and hear these words like your life depends on it. Because it does. You're here because something inside you is screaming. Something is telling you that the life you're living isn't the life you're meant to live. That voice, that restless, uncomfortable feeling in your chest, that's not anxiety. That's not depression. That's your soul trying to wake you up from the walking coma you've been living in. You know what the brutal truth is? You're not stuck because of your circumstances. You're not stuck because of your past. You're not stuck because you don't have opportunities. You're stuck because you've become addicted to being comfortable with being uncomfortable. You've made peace with mediocrity. You've shaken hands with good enough and invited it to stay for dinner every single night. Just the time thief living in your pocket. Let me tell you about Sarah. 28 years old, scrolling through Instagram at 2 a.m., watching people live the lives she dreams about. She spent 4 hours yesterday watching other people's highlight reels while her own dreams collected dust. 4 hours. That's 28 hours a week. That's 1,456 hours a year. That's the equivalent of working a part-time job, except instead of getting paid, she's paying with her future. You think you don't have time? You think you're too busy? Bulletin? You have the same 24 hours as Oprah, as Elon Musk, as every person who's ever built something extraordinary. The difference isn't time, it's priorities. The difference is that they treat their time like the non-renewable resource it is, while you're out here spending it like you're going to live forever. Your phone screen time last week? I bet it's more than the time you spent working on your dreams. Your Netflix hours? Probably more than the time you invested in learning a new skill. You're not time poor, you're priority poor. You're not too busy, you're too distracted. Here's the wake-up call. Every minute you spend consuming someone else's content is a minute stolen from creating your own legacy. Every hour you spend in digital quicksand is an hour your future self will never get back. Time isn't money. Time is life itself. And you're bleeding it away one mindless scroll at a time. The fear that's killing your dreams. You want to know what's really keeping you stuck? It's not lack of opportunity. It's not bad luck. It's not the economy, your education, or your background. It's fear. But not the fear you think. You think you're afraid of failure? Number. You're afraid of success. You're terrified of what happens when you actually try and it works. 'Cause then you'd have to admit that you could have been living this life all along. You'd have to face the fact that every day you chose comfort over courage was a day you chose to betray your own potential. Let me tell you about Marcus. Brilliant guy, incredible ideas, but paralyzed by perfectionism. He spent 3 years planning to start his business, 3 years researching, preparing, waiting for the perfect time. You know what happened during those 3 years? His competitor launched the exact same idea in 6 months and made millions. Marcus is still planning. The perfect time is a myth. The perfect plan is a fantasy. The perfect moment is right now, with all your imperfections, with all your uncertainties, with all your fears. Because here's what nobody tells you about successful people. They're not fearless. They're scared out of their minds. The difference is they've learned to dance with fear instead of being paralyzed by it. You think failure is the worst thing that can happen to you? I'll tell you what's worse. Dying with your music still inside you, living your entire life wondering, what if? Reaching the end and realizing you never even tried. That's not just failure, that's tragedy. The comparison trap that's stealing your joy. Stop looking at their highlight reel and comparing it to your behind-the-scenes struggle. Stop measuring your Chapter 3 against someone else's Chapter 20. Stop thinking that because someone else is winning, there's less winning available for you. You see that entrepreneur on LinkedIn talking about their overnight success. What you don't see are the 3,000 nights they stayed up building while you were sleeping. What you don't see are the 100 rejections, the failed attempts, the moments they wanted to quit, but didn't. You see that fitness influencer with the perfect body? What you don't see are the 5 a.m. workouts when they didn't feel like it, the meals they meal prepped while you ordered takeout, the discipline they practiced when no one was watching. Here's the truth about comparison. It's not just the thief of joy, it's the assassin of action. Every minute you spend comparing is a minute you're not creating. Every moment you spend envying is a moment you're not building. Your journey is unique. Your timeline is different. Your struggles are preparing you for your specific version of success. Stop trying to run someone else's race and start running your own. Discipline, the bridge between dreams and reality. You know what separates the successful from the stuck? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's discipline. But not the kind of discipline you think. Real discipline isn't about white-knuckling your way through life. It's about becoming the kind of person who does what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. It's about showing up when motivation has left the building. It's about keeping promises to yourself when no one else is watching. Let me tell you about Amy. She wanted to write a book for 15 years. 15 years of, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start Monday, I'll start next month. You know what changed? She committed to writing just 1 page a day. Not 10 pages when she felt inspired. Not chapters when she had time. 1 page every day for 365 days. Guess what? She didn't just finish her book, she finished 3. Discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more you ignore it, the weaker it becomes. Every time you do what you said you'd do, you're building trust with yourself. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you're eroding your self-confidence. Start small. Start stupid small. Want to exercise? Start with 10 push-ups. Want to read more? Start with 5 pages. Want to meditate? Start with 2 minutes. The goal isn't to impress anyone. It's to build the habit of keeping your word to the most important person in your life. You. Your comfort zone is a beautiful prison. You've built yourself a beautiful prison, and you've decorated it so nicely that you've forgotten you're trapped. Your comfort zone feels safe, but safety is the most dangerous thing you can pursue because it's an illusion. That job you hate but keep because it's secure? It's not secure. Entire industries disappear overnight. That relationship that's not working, but you stay because you're afraid of being alone. You're already alone. You're alone with someone who doesn't see your worth. That dream you're not pursuing because it's too risky? Not pursuing it is the biggest risk of all. Your comfort zone is where dreams go to die. It's where potential gets buried. It's where someday becomes never. Let me tell you about David. He worked the same accounting job for 12 years, hated every minute of it, but it was comfortable, predictable, safe. One day, the company downsized and he got laid off. Terrifying, right? Best thing that ever happened to him. Within 6 months, he launched his freelance consulting business. Within 2 years, he was making triple what he made at his secure job. The thing he was most afraid of became the catalyst for his greatest breakthrough. Your comfort zone isn't protecting you. It's limiting you. It's not keeping you safe. It's keeping you small. Every day you choose comfort over growth is a day you choose to stay the same person you were yesterday. The risk of not taking risks. You think taking risks is dangerous? I'll tell you what's dangerous. Not taking any risks at all. Playing it safe is the riskiest thing you can do because you're guaranteed to stay exactly where you are. Risk isn't about being reckless. It's about being intentional. It's about calculated moves towards something better instead of random reactions to whatever life throws at you. You know what the biggest risk is? Reaching the end of your life and realizing you played not to lose instead of playing to win. Realizing you spent your entire life avoiding failure instead of pursuing success. Realizing you were so afraid of falling that you never learned to fly. Think about every major breakthrough in your life, every moment of growth, every achievement you're proud of, every relationship that matters. I guarantee you had to take a risk to get there. You had to step into uncertainty. You had to trust in something you couldn't see yet. The people who changed the world weren't the ones who played it safe. They were the ones who risked everything for something they believed in. They risked failure for the possibility of extraordinary success. The real enemy. Your own mind. Your biggest enemy isn't the competition. It's not the economy. It's not your circumstances. It's the voice in your head that tells you to wait, to prepare more, to play it safe. It's the mental committee that meets every time you want to do something different and votes to stay the same. That voice that tells you you're not ready, it's lying. That voice that tells you you're not qualified, it's lying. That voice that tells you to start tomorrow, it's the voice of mediocrity trying to keep you average. You don't need permission to change your life. You don't need to be chosen. You don't need to wait for someone to give you a chance. You need to stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating them. Your mind will play every trick in the book to keep you comfortable. It will rationalize. It will justify. It will create elaborate stories about why now isn't the right time. Your mind is wired for survival, not success. It's wired to avoid pain, not pursue greatness. But here's what your mind doesn't understand. The pain of staying the same is far greater than the pain of changing. The pain of regret is far worse than the pain of discipline. The pain of wondering, what if, will torture you far longer than the temporary discomfort of trying and failing. The power of radical responsibility. Stop blaming your circumstances. Stop blaming your past. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming the system. The moment you take 100% responsibility for your life is the moment your life changes. You want to know the difference between victims and victors? Victims focus on what happened to them. Victors focus on what they can do about it. Victims ask, why me? Victors ask, what now? Yes, bad things happen. Yes, life is unfair. Yes, some people start with advantages you don't have. So what? That's not your story. Your story is what you do with the hand you've been dealt. Your story is how you respond to the challenges. Your story is the comeback, not the setback. Every excuse you make is a choice to stay the same. Every time you blame someone else, you give away your power. Every time you focus on what you can't control, you ignore what you can control. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions. And if you don't like where you are, you can decide differently. Right now. Today. The compound effect of daily choices. Your life isn't changed by grand gestures or magical moments. It's changed by the accumulation of tiny decisions made consistently over time. The book you read for 20 minutes a day, the workout you do when you don't feel like it, the skill you practice for 30 minutes each morning. Small changes don't feel significant in the moment, but they compound over time to create extraordinary results. The problem is, we overestimate what we can accomplish in a day and underestimate what we can accomplish in a year. You don't need to transform overnight. You need to get 1% better every day. You need to make slightly better choices consistently. You need to show up when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. That person you admire who seems to have it all together? They didn't get there overnight. They got there one day at a time, one choice at a time, one small improvement at a time. While you were looking for the shortcut, they were taking the steps. The stories we tell ourselves. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your fears. You are the story you tell yourself about who you are and what's possible for your life. Right now, you're telling yourself a story. Maybe it's, I'm not smart enough. Maybe it's, I don't have what it takes. Maybe it's, I'm too old, too young, too broke, too whatever. These stories feel true because you've been telling them for so long, but they're not truth. They're habits. Every limitation you accept becomes a limitation you live. Every excuse you make becomes a boundary you can't cross. Every story you tell yourself about why you can't becomes a prison you build around your potential. But here's the beautiful truth. If you created these stories, you can change them. If you wrote this script, you can rewrite it. If you built these walls, you can tear them down. The mindset of champions. Champions don't wait for motivation. They create it through action. They don't wait to feel confident. They build confidence through competence. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They make the moment perfect through preparation and persistence. Champions understand that success isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's not about never falling down. It's about getting up one more time than you fall. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about failing fast, learning faster, and trying again smarter. They know that every expert was once a beginner. Every professional was once an amateur. Every icon was once an unknown. The difference isn't talent, it's tenacity. The difference isn't luck, it's learning. The difference isn't circumstances, it's choices. You have champion DNA inside you. You have greatness waiting to be unleashed. You have potential that's been lying dormant while you've been playing small. The question isn't whether you're capable. The question is whether you're willing. The cost of comfort. Let me paint you a picture of where you're headed if you don't change. 5 years from now, you're sitting in the same place, having the same conversations, facing the same problems, living the same life. 10 years from now, you're looking back with regret, wondering where the time went. wondering what could have been. That's not a threat. That's a mathematical certainty if you keep making the same choices. Your future is nothing more than the compound interest of your daily decisions. If you keep choosing comfort over courage, safety over growth, excuses over action, you'll get exactly what you've always gotten. But it doesn't have to be that way. You have the power to write a different story. You have the ability to make different choices. You have the opportunity to become a different person, but only if you decide, only if you act, only if you start. The bridge to your better life. There's a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. That bridge is built from daily actions, consistent choices, and relentless commitment to becoming who you need to be to live the life you want to live. You don't cross that bridge by thinking about it. You don't cross it by planning to cross it. You don't cross it by waiting for perfect conditions. You cross it by taking the first step, then the second, then the third. You cross it one step at a time, one day at a time, one choice at a time. The bridge isn't built yet. You build it as you walk across it. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't need to know how the story ends to start writing the first chapter. Your moment of truth. This is your moment, right here, right now. This is the moment you decide whether you're going to keep living the same life or start creating a different one. This is the moment you choose between comfort and growth, between excuses and action, between the person you are and the person you're capable of becoming. You can keep reading motivational content and feeling inspired for a few minutes before going back to the same old routine. You can keep consuming instead of creating. You can keep preparing instead of starting. You can keep waiting for tomorrow while today slips away. Or you can decide that today is the day. Today is the day you stop talking and start walking. Today is the day you stop planning and start doing. Today is the day you stop being a spectator in your own life and start being the main character. The life you want is waiting for you on the other side of action. The person you want to become is waiting for you on the other side of courage. The future you dream about is waiting for you on the other side of starting. Your call to action. The time is now. Here's what you're going to do. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not next month. Now. First, you're going to identify the one thing that scares you most about change in your life. That thing you keep avoiding. That conversation you keep postponing. That dream you keep pushing to someday. Write it down. Look at it. That's your target. Second, you're going to take one action toward that thing before you go to sleep tonight. Not a big action, not a perfect action, just one action. Send one email, make one phone call, write one page, take one step. Do one thing that moves you forward instead of keeping you stuck. Third, you're going to commit right now to doing something every single day for the next 30 days that builds toward the life you want. Every day. No exceptions. No excuses. No matter how small. Consistency will beat intensity every single time. Fourth, you're going to stop consuming and start creating. Stop watching other people's lives and start building your own. Stop scrolling and start writing. Stop lurking and start leading. Stop being the audience and start being the performer. Fifth, you're going to find one person who believes in your dream and tell them what you're going to do. Make yourself accountable. Make it real. Make it impossible to back down without disappointing someone who believes in you. Your time is running out, not in some abstract future sense. right now. Every day you wait is a day you'll never get back. Every opportunity you postpone might not come again. Every dream you delay dies a little bit more. You were not born to be average. You were not created to blend in. You were not designed to play small. You have something inside you that the world needs. You have a contribution that only you can make. You have a story that only you can write. But none of that matters if you don't start. None of that matters if you don't act. None of that matters if you choose comfort over courage one more time. The choice is yours. The power is yours. The moment is yours. Your extraordinary life is waiting. What are you going to do about it? Start now.